Okay, good. Awesome. All right, just a little review on last weekend in Wisconsin. I thought, coming out of the break, or up until the break, I thought our guys, had got a pretty good rhythm and a pretty good understanding of some things that we've been working on, and it was kind of one of those things where it's a shame that we had that break at that time. I think we needed it physically, but I thought mentally we were in a good spot and had a couple shutouts in a row. And then coming back, 4 games in 6 nights, maybe for a team as young and inexperienced as we are, probably wasn't the greatest transition, but a lot of lessons in there, and I thought we played decent and close, but that won't get us there. And then having a week to work on some things and heading to Wisconsin, I thought it was kind of back to where we were at and some things to build on. And first night's 2-0 win was outstanding. We just got great contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. And for us to win hockey games right now, especially on the road, pretty much everything has to be in sync, and we can't be bad in any particular area. And we were solid all over the ice, really limited their chances. Power play and penalty kill were good, and goaltending was excellent. So then the next night, kind of found ourselves, I didn't think we were as complete. I thought we competed well. We didn't possess the puck quite as much. We didn't finish as many checks. We didn't close out on our defensive zone quite as well. And then you leave things to chance, and that's what happens. And we ended up on the wrong side of it. But overall, it was a good 6 periods. I think guys are moving forward on some things. I think some of our younger guys are starting to be more consistent. Even their inconsistent isn't as inconsistent as it used to be. So they're kind of getting there. Some of our older guys, a guy like Cody Milan, who's had a great year, hasn't been a big part of the offense or the power play the first couple years of his career. So he's in a new situation. He's really getting to be a little bit more consistent. And like I said, the freshmen are starting to contribute. And the depth of our scoring, continues to be a bit of an issue. We're starting to get a few more chances, and if we can get some of that secondary scoring, I think we'll find our way to winning a lot more games. You play hard, you want to be rewarded, but there's an awful lot of pressure and weight put on our top line, Kodorenko's line, and the sooner we can help them out, I think we'll be dangerous. We've got 10 games to do that, and then the playoffs, and hopefully guys continue to find their stride and keep getting a little better every weekend.
Danton, for a team that's kind of still adjusting to things under the first year of a new coaching regime, that KHL line, as you mentioned, they provide a lot of the offense. But Mitch, he just got named 3rd star of the week by the Big Ten. For a freshman, I mean, even from what he's done coming in, how impressed have you been with what he's provided right off the bat as a Spartan?
Yeah, he's been amazing, and I think we knew that he was a smart player and had the hands, and my worry was that it'd take, not worry, but I just thought it'd take him a year or so to get up to speed and maybe be this impactful this early. You're over a point a game as a freshman is impressive. Leading scoring freshman in the country is amazing, especially if you look at a team that is like us that doesn't score an awful lot right now. So he's been great, and I think the physical side of it, I think what he did over the summer, the conditioning he did with Coach Forkbeck coming up here, spending time on the ice and in the weight room, I think has really benefited him. I thought he hit a little bit of a lull, and I was wondering if that would happen, and then he kind of surged right back out of that. So he's been tremendous, and I think he's definitely a bright spot, and thank goodness he's having that good a year.
What do you still want to get out of this group in this season? What do you still want to see, and what do you hope they can become?
Oh, and awful. I still think there's. I think the way you phrase that, what they can become, I don't think we're close to where we want to be at. I think there's, like I was saying, the consistency, the understanding of how hard you have to play, how you have to be in every single area. Our guys are just touching, I think, the surface on how you have to play a game, how you have to battle throughout, and how you have to finish it. So I think the mindset and the preparation and the speed at which you play, and those are all things that we're hitting on practice every week and continue to beat on them. But again, those young guys, it takes time, and we've talked about the learning curve. We can't rush that. The learning curve is every weekend, every game, and pushing it. But there's an awful lot of things. I still think we can defend better. I still think we can forecheck better and spend more time in the offensive zone. We can do a lot better job of getting pucks on net. So there's an awful lot of things, and we'll keep pushing them.
Early on, you got a result seemingly every weekend or something to give them something. The importance of getting something after 4 games without it at Wisconsin, with Minnesota coming up. just so you don't have that stretch where there's nothing.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll go back to it. I like the resiliency and poise of this team. And you lose 4 games in a row in 6 nights. Man, it felt like we hadn't won a game ever. And, the mentality of the guys last week in practice was really, really good. And I met with the leadership council Tuesday after practice. We had a good, hard Monday, a good, hard Tuesday, and just kind of got their read on the situation. And they were upbeat and as impressed with the guys as the coaching staff was, but you also want to, kind of check the temperature of the room. And they were just impressed with how hard the guys were working, and their minds were in the right state, and they executed. And so Friday's night, game probably didn't surprise me much. So, but it is important. You need to have those, those little victories are good. Moral victories, they can only get you so far. You need to accomplish some things, and I thought we did last weekend. And we're going to look at that the rest of the year. Just keep trying to take something out every weekend. If we take it out on Friday night, then we'll get a sweep eventually. And if we get a sweep eventually, then you never know. Maybe we can do some damage in the playoffs. But our mantra, our team motto is just keep getting better every day. And all our guys picked different mottos at the beginning of the year. And Tommy Miller, that was his, and it was get better every day. And he happens to be the guy that's talking in front of our team and getting reviewed by the rest of the guys on the teams on his commitment. And I think that's a very topical thing for us today.
Dan, Minnesota's had pretty much an uneven season, but they're loaded with talent and so forth. What's your take on them right now compared to what you saw them in November? Yeah,
they're like you said, they're a dangerous team. They've got a lot of talent. I think they have 10 or 11 draft picks. Excellent goaltending. I think he's a 2-time returning goaltender of the year in the Big Ten, and so they present a lot of challenges in that sense. And I think we go out every weekend looking and kind of say the same thing. And you look at Big Ten, it's like, okay, limit their transition. Try and play down there and be physical. Make it hard for them to get going, and that's going to be the case. And I thought we played 2 fairly good games when we went out there on the big sheet, and that was the first time we were on a bigger sheet. Friday night especially, I thought we had a chance to win that game. Saturday, we kind of got behind it. I thought we battled really well, but they kind of were in control the whole way. So I think it'll be important for us right from the beginning to start that way, take away time and space. And one thing you try and it's hard to do if you're under 500 like we are, but you're trying to, in the culture and the things we've talked about, is create a little bit of a swagger. And to have that and to show up, I want our guys after 4 losses to show up like they did at Wisconsin, expecting to win a game. I want them, after losing on Saturday night, to be ticked off in the locker room thinking that, hey, we should have swept this series, regardless of what our record is. And that's a bit of a mindset as well. And like I said, that swagger can carry an awful long way. And sometimes that's the difference in the game. It's just thinking that you're going to get it done one way or the other, and the resolve to do it. So, that's what we're looking at this weekend, and we'll keep building.
You've played a game in Madison Square Garden as a player, the Devils and so forth. What's it going to be like to coach there?
It'll be fun. I mean, it's there's not a lot of the original 6 buildings left. In fact, I'm not sure if there's any of them left, and you go into Madison Square Garden and the history of it, and you walk down the hallways and all the pictures of, not just the sporting events, but the other events that are there, and you get out and you get that feel for an NHL arena. I think it's going to be extremely exciting, and you throw the backdrop of pretty incredible city as well. I think the atmosphere for our guys should be exciting. They should be pretty fired up, and it's a great opportunity for them. I think this time of year it's a great break. We play here Thursday, get a day off. It's kind of an NHL schedule. Head into Madison Square Gardens and play a game. So I think it'll be a really good experience. And then we get a week off, which I think will be great for us.
Dan, when Coach D'Antonio came and began a rebuild, he talked about first you got to get your ones competitive with other teams' ones. And once you do, you can fight for bowls. But then it's depth. Your first line is as good as anybody in hockey. Now is the secret to rebuilding the program getting depth where your second and third line are there as well? Yeah,
absolutely. And it's something I think as a staff we talk about an awful lot. And I think there is depth there. It's awful young. And if you look at it, you're looking at our second line. It's a freshman who pretty much been in and out of the lineup earlier in the year, and 2 sophomores. So as that gets better, there is a downhill effect, because then your practices are better. And right now our challenge is every day we line the green line. That's Kodorenko's line. We have to line somebody up against them when we're doing 5-on-5 stuff, and that's a challenge for every line to get better, to push themselves and try and stop them in practice. Well, who's pushing that green line right now, who's pushing the second line. So that'll come, and that's kind of Joe's job out on the road in terms of recruiting. Is everyone that leaves, we need a better player coming in and a better person coming in, and we'll build that. And then when it gets to that point, then we're just we have to have all our guys going. And the other night we had 12 forwards. If 3 of those guys aren't going, we're in trouble. And if 2 guys have an average game and 3 are in trouble, we're in an awful lot of trouble. So right now everything has to fire on all cylinders, and that's a tough way to play, and it's a tough mentality to have. But it's where we find ourselves, and sooner or later when we get that, we'll be a lot better team. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, sir.